So the idea that we came up with for the podcast was to do a comparison between the original and the first of the remakes. So the original being Evil Dead, The Evil Dead, and the remake, the direct remake being Evil Dead in 2013. So looking at 1981 and 2013. Now, obviously, there's been a bunch of other stuff. So Evil Dead
Mhm.
had Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. It had Ash versus Evil Dead. And now we've got the reboot with Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead Burn, and Evil Dead Wrath. Burn and Wrath both still yet to come out.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And not to take in, not to forget in any way whatsoever, um, the Evil Dead the musical, Evil Dead the game, and I think I can even put this right here. Dynamite
Sorry,
Comics have got the license for Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead.
I like that cover. What's the artwork like inside? Is it darkly graphic novel in
No, it's
nature?
more sort of Archie. So it's
Yeah,
Archie
yeah,
the
yeah.
Evil
Okay.
Dead. Um,
I do like that cover though.
But we've seen stuff like Elvira versus Evil Dead. The Dynamite Comics are doing the Dark Lord's work
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, it's such a huge franchise, such a huge property. Is this the first one we've done on the pod?
on Evil Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is, I
first
think.
time we've looked at it.
Yeah.
And this was your wonderful concept, like
Popcorn reheated.
popcorn reheated. That was the title. Thank you. Is it like a basic compare and contrast? Do you th
Yeah, yeah.
that what you're,
Yeah,
looking
that's
for
what I was thinking.
after?
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking. And yeah, that's how I approached it, absolutely. And I thought I thought it was a great idea. If you have any suggestions for like,
Yeah.
an original and its remake or reboot or
Mhm.
recall, shall we can throw them all in, can't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, all the flavors. Because they're all, re-looks, so to speak. Um,
Would we count
mhm.
Psycho and Psycho, the shot for shot remake?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we could do that. But
But it's the
ew.
same movie.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But why we say that though is because this one, as Pam pointed out, shout out that Evil Dead 2013 was intended to be a reboot, yes?
Correct.
Yes. With
A complete
the
restart. Yeah.
protagonist,
Yep.
replacing Bruce, essentially. Was that the intention, the
Yes.
studio's goal?
Yep.
Yeah, that didn't eventuate. I don't think it's the fault of the movie. I don't really know what happened. I don't know. I don't think anyone did. Mia's just, yeah, spoiler. Mia has not come back at all. Do you know
No.
anything, Baron?
No, I've not heard a single thing about it.
Yeah.
I think we're more likely to see um recurring characters from Evil Dead Rise onwards. Maybe she'll come back in Evil Dead Wrath. I'd only heard about Burn at this point. I was only looking on IMDb just before where I found Wrath, which I'm excited about because I do like the Evil Dead films.
Yeah, no, I'll happily watch anything Evil
Yeah.
Dead. Definitely.
Well, let's start at the beginning. So let before I get into the housekeeping of the movies, how did you first discover Evil Dead?
Oh, it was Evil Dead 2.
Okay.
And this was in university or college out there, America. Um, shout out, stay safe. Um, and Evil Dead 2, it was just all the rage, basically. It was just one of those movies like Tetsuo, the Iron Man, various other mangas like Akira. It's just one of those films, if you were a film fan and you like different kind of films that you just had to see and watched it many, 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 many times. Absolutely. And from there, of course, discovered Evil Dead after that.
Yep.
And I liked it, but it just certainly wasn't as fun as Evil Dead 2. So this was certainly great going back to watch Evil Dead properly,
Sure. Yep.
the original. And I'll throw in 2013 there as we're discussing. I watched that about 5 years after it came out
Okay.
because there was a lot of bad reports when it
Mm,
came out because this is, of course, a very beloved, property, is Evil Dead. The fandom, it's a very, it wasn't overly appreciated
okay.
by the general fandom out there. And I'll say if I agree later on. But
Yep.
yeah, Evil Dead and university slash college. Baron?
Okay. Well, I didn't see Evil Dead. Well, I did see Evil Dead first, but only because we hired Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 on the same night from the video store. So I didn't see Evil Dead until Evil Dead 2 was out. Um,
Okay,
I
okay.
watched them both on the same night. The skull poster above you was the cover of the VHS, and I did have a cardboard cutout of that inside my desk at school for the longest time.
That's cool.
And
That's very
the
cool.
little cardboard standee of Ash standing up holding the shotgun. I had
Yeah,
that
yeah.
with in my desk. And I came back to school one day and our desks had been cleaned out. And I got a little note saying we would appreciate it if you didn't have satanic images in your desk. So,
Satanic.
yeah.
Or satanic.
That, yeah, obviously didn't understand. But that's okay. So, yeah, saw them both on the first. I loved
Cycles.
them. Rewatched them again the next day. So I saw Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 twice in the span of 2 days.
Okay, nice. Did you prefer one over the other in those 2 days, like the end of those 2 days?
Evil Dead 2 seemed like the better made movie.
Okay. But
But
which one did you prefer?
I think I preferred Evil Dead, honestly.
Okay,
I, I,
interesting.
I think
Yeah.
I think I liked it more, but I think I thought I was supposed to like Evil Dead 2 more. I was confused at the time as well that they were the same movie.
Uh-huh. Sure.
So
Yeah,
because it
that's fair.
kind of restarts.
Yeah, I didn't learn all the information till after many
Yeah,
viewings and all that sort of thing. And it was like,
yeah,
'cause when I went back and watched Evil Dead the first time, I was like, hmm? And then, oh, I see. And then, okay. And I
yeah.
appreciate, it's a great story if you don't know it. Yeah, quickly in 1981, they went to do Evil Dead. And then they got, do you know how they got the opportunity? How they got the money? They just got the money to go back and redo it basically, but and
Yeah,
gave it more of
someone
a
just gave them money, didn't they?
yeah, someone just gave them the money, I think. I forget the details, but then they got to go back 6 years later. Basically the same people, same
Yeah.
film students, yeah,
Mhm.
essentially. And you got to do it more, and they just leaned into the comedy horror more because I think it would have been, I think, more of a fun time
Mm.
because this is a labor of love, Evil Dead, the first one, but they pull off some effective shit, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I will say though that they did get the funding for Evil Dead 1 based on a
Hmm.
short called Within the Woods, which they
Okay.
filmed in 1978. The premise of that is while spending a weekend at a remote cabin, Bruce desecrates an Indian burial ground and becomes reanimated, making a way to kill his friends.
A desecration of the Indian burial ground.
Yeah.
Classic, certainly in the late 70s, which it would have
But Ellen
been.
Sandweiss was in it, and she was in Evil Dead. So yeah, so it was obviously the inciting incident that got them to make Evil Dead. So that people saw Within the Woods, and they got funding to make Evil Dead.
Yeah, yeah. And you're Spider-Man and Doctor Strange fans, that's where the director of those, that's where this
Oh,
guy started off. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Send Help and
Mhm.
Darkman and like yeah, just all of the stuff that Sam Raimi has done has been amazing. So yeah, so if people want to get the whole experience, you probably need to start with Within the Woods. But it is only a short, and it was never commercially released.
Is it on YouTube?
I would imagine it is. I think I've got a DVD copy of it somewhere that someone bootlegged for
Wait
me.
1 second. Sam Raimi. Yeah.
Oh
30
yeah,
minutes. Sam
yep.
Raimi. And yeah, a little
Shot on
doco and
Super
short
8.
film. Yeah. Beautiful. Save to watch later. I'll
Yeah.
post it up there, children, on the Facebook page.
I mean, it's not great. It's film. It's like film. It's film students, and it's their first ever time doing stuff. And you can obviously see where he started to build his style as a writer and a director, and Bruce started to build his style as an actor.
hmm hmm But like it's Sam Raimi as well,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Just want to see all the stuff. And Evil Dead, want to be a completionist with it because uh, if I'll officially say it again that I'll watch anything Evil Dead. It
Yeah.
vacillates in quality, certainly.
Yep.
Never out of the ballpark. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
there's always enjoyment to be had.
Having said
Um,
that, though, I've seen some awful, awful um, uh, Amityville movies that are tenuously related to Amityville that are not don't even approach the quality of any of the Evil Dead stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, the consistency is pretty damn high.
yeah,
Um, May as well, while we're talking about the original, like Evil Dead 2 is a classic. It's a comedy horror classic. It's up there in the
yep,
pantheon of comedy horror,
sure.
definitely, in my opinion, along with Shaun of the Dead and others.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Army of Darkness need to rewatch, but back in the day it was too Laurel and Hardy, too slapstick for me, too studio for me.
It might have been the TV cut that you saw then, because I think from memory,
Probably,
the
probably,
director's cut was it had less of that. I mean, there was slapstick was still in there, but I think it had less of it, which is good.
yeah. Um, The show is fantastic. If you
Yeah,
haven't
I
seen the
love
TV
Ashra
show,
Sleep
even
there.
I know it doesn't finish, but it's still worth going along the
Yeah,
journey up until that point. You get a lot of enjoyment out of
yeah.
it. Rise is an interesting one. Yeah, I watched it twice. I gave it a second chance, and it's not a bad film. There's
Yeah,
enjoyment to be
it's all
had,
right.
but it is a bit of a theme park ride horror slash
It
horror
is.
movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that locked room mystery thing where it's all in one location.
Yeah, yeah, and just like which I'll talk about with Evil Dead Last we were talking about. The one critique really I have of this
Yeah,
is that it becomes less about um the story. And I know it's largely a one location, so this does, inhibit and kind of guide how it's done. But there's overindulgence in the showcase of the effects, yes.
yeah,
And then there's an overindulgence, really good sound work, but then an overindulgence in that where it's an incredibly loud film.
yeah.
Evil Dead, the original, I had it through the headphones and
It
through
is
this
loud.
thick hoodie here. I had to turn it down.
Yeah,
Usually I'm turning up because of the material. You understand the science. I
yeah,
had to
yeah,
turn it down. And it's just consistent. It just bangs at you and hits you and hits you and hits you and hits
yeah,
you. Um, and that does lessen a little bit of the suspense and the tension, and therefore the stakes, a little bit. The effects are incredible, don't get me
yeah,
wrong, what
yeah.
they
Especially
achieve,
for the time.
seriously, for the time.
Yeah,
And then you've got, of course, the classic fast camera movement down at the ground, running along through the woods, monster, demon point of view,
yeah,
which is so influential to
mm,
modern contemporary horror, which is,
yeah.
it's
And
crazy
it
how
was literally
influential
just
it
a
is.
camera mounted on a plank with two guys carrying it, one on either side of the plank.
Okay, there you go, and just running along. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Okay, brilliant. They must have sped it up and post a little,
Probably.
yeah, and played with it as much as they could because this is a shot on film, 1981.
Yeah.
What is this shot on? Do you have the
Ooh, good
exact
question.
details there?
Very good
What
question.
type of film?
Oh,
Because the thing with this film, Baron, which I didn't realize back in the day. It's very 70s influenced. It's
yeah.
a little Dario Argento at times, a little the original Suspiria at times in terms of the
Mm,
coloring.
yeah.
The score,
Yep.
yeah, is very traditional classic 70s horror where it's very impressionistic sounds wrought by
Yeah.
an orchestra, you know what I mean? So it's very unnerving in that sense.
All right.
The
So they shot it on Arriflex 16BL and an Arriflex 16S camera,
so that's a
which
digital video then.
no, no,
Is that
16 mil,
that's 16
16
mil?
mil
Okay,
film,
thank you.
16 mil
Okay,
film.
okay.
It was released in 1.37.1 and 1.85.1, and Sam Raimi specified that.
So that's hence the grainy look then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's not
they,
bumped up or released in that aspect ratio. You're going to get
yeah,
super
yeah.
grain, yeah, which is maybe what he was after, I'm assuming.
So they used an up-res blow up for that. So yeah, so it was Sam
Okay.
Raimi's request that they blow it up probably to 35 mil.
So they would did blow it up then to
Uh,
35. Yeah.
Probably doesn't specify here, but yeah. So yeah, it was shot on 16 mil, and then it was upgraded. So that would be why it does look grainy.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, that's what I initially thought. Okay, cool, cool. Um, and yeah, as I was saying, like, and some of the framing where you've got like the female faces with the hair and the
Mm,
jawline is very specific, like certainly at the start of the film before you get into the special effects showcase.
yeah,
But the relentlessness I did appreciate, and the
yeah.
grain looks great. Um,
It just kept
the
moving.
And just to keep moving, the acting is, it's the classic 1970s style,
Late 70s, early 80s. Yeah,
standing around in a room shouting at each other. There is that to it.
yeah. There's a lot of
But
that.
but once you get used to, I'm more used to that style. No, I'm also used to that time frame, perhaps is a better way to put it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
It was just the style at the time. It's just the style at the time. So I'm not, so what I'm saying with that is this isn't perfect for me, but it's very interesting and very
yeah.
effective, this film. And it's a lot more arty than I remember it being.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot more arty than I
Yeah,
compared to Evil Dead 2, which is just basically goofiness
yeah,
with gore and grit off to the races. You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's
yeah, yeah,
such a different tempo and rhythm. It's fun. It's more fun. It's way more uplifting. This is more creepy and underscorey, and you know what I mean?
yeah. Almost like that tonal shift that happened in the early 80s affected the second movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there you
Um,
go. This still had large 70s
it
tendencies,
really did.
certainly along a European pathway,
Yeah.
A trajectory. Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's get into the uh budget. No, what am I doing? What am I saying? Let's get into the housekeeping of the two movies. I'll just try and get through this pretty quick. I didn't like. I only
Hold
did
on,
sort
hold
of
on. Can I ask before we do that?
sure.
What do you think of 2013? Evil Dead
Oh yeah,
2013.
very good question.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Popcorn.
all good.
I quite enjoyed 2013. I don't know that it has the. I don't have a nice soft place in my cold dead black heart for it, like I
Yeah,
do for the first one.
uh-huh.
For 1981. I liked it. It's a good spiritual successor, but if I have to compare the two, I prefer the original over the 2013. Having said that, it was definitely a child of the tens, the 2010.
Yeah, 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 precisely. It's got a little bit of a Michael Bay hangover,
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit of a torture porn
Yeah,
hangover to
yeah.
it, definitely. Um,
Especially the scene with the tree.
yeah. Oh, but the 1981 scene with the
It
tree
was
has its own
correct.
shockingness and its
Correct.
own fashion as
Yeah.
well. I don't think any of the films are innocent when it comes to
No,
the tree.
no.
Yeah, that's my argument with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't know children, this is yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
What about
infamous
you?
scene.
What's your comparison between
Well,
what are your
we've
thoughts on
actually
the
touched
2013?
on this before because this was an episode with Scream Queen Shout Out where I spoke about this movie.
Oh
I
yeah.
forget the category though, which is a cool thing. We've done enough episodes to start forgetting what we've done. But I did talk about it. It was like a number one for something. And I spoke highly of it, but I hadn't rewatched it for that top five, whatever
Oh,
it was.
okay.
And so I rewatched it this time. Now, um, I think it doesn't have the longevity that one and two certainly have. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's certainly a product of its time and it was effective for its time.
Yep.
This is, what's his name?
Fede
Fit,
Alvarez.
thank you. With Alvarez, he certainly has a distinctive style, a
Hmm.
distinctive, shocking style. And there's always a certain, I haven't seen Romulus, but in Don't Breathe, there's a certain infamous
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see a lot of productions, mise-en-scene comparisons between Don't Breathe and Evil Dead 2013. That's in the lighting and the camera work and in the production side. What's seen on camera is mise-en-scene,
Yeah.
and there's definite similarities. And the big shocking scene of 2013 is definitely the rain and blood at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Certainly
yeah.
less, far less problematic than the Don't Breathe number. If you don't know, look into it.
Yeah. And
Um,
his episode of From Dusk Till Dawn, the series, I think he did episode 8, La
okay.
Conquista, was very good.
Yeah, no, he's
And
talented. He's competent.
yeah,
Um, but it does smack of that 2010s, which was
yeah,
what I'm talking about, that Michael Bay hangover. Um, Now, what I spoke about on the last episode, the last time spoke of it, why I spoke of it highly was the metaphor being addicted to drugs, being the, analogy to being possessed by the Deadites. Yeah.
yeah,
Overall, I still really like that concept. I
yeah,
do like the rain of blood at the end, the cinematography in that part as well, not just the blood of the cabin on fire
yeah,
is incredible. He's a competent guy, but the psychological breaking down of the characters when they get possessed and they'll bring up personal things.
yeah,
And then they'll do the human voice back to the deadite
yeah,
voice while Mia's going, and you compare that to the OG where you had her sitting in the lounge, cross-legged, just laughing, going
yeah,
for like 7 minutes, drilling into your head. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Um, so maybe it's a fault of comparison. Maybe as well. Maybe I've burnt myself doing this.
Maybe.
Um, I don't hold it as highly as I did. No,
Yeah.
it's not a bad film. I don't know if I'd watch it again though after
Okay.
this. I just don't like these type of films anymore that are done in this way, through under these conditions. So there's a certain look, there's a certain style to the acting, there's a certain vibe to the whole thing, a look behind the eyes of the actors where they're
Yeah.
not really involved, they're just being told what to do.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that has the heart is missing somehow. And so, like an Evil Dead, there's nothing but heart.
Yeah.
It may not be
And Bruce Campbell is
executed
that heart.
perfectly, and Raimi and such.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of directorial choices. Certainly for a first film, he puts everything into it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They just threw
Uh,
everything at the wall.
they really did. They really did, which I appreciate. Because Evil Dead 2, there was certainly they got better at filmmaking. They
Yeah.
came back in as a stronger unit,
Yep.
definitely. But there's certain experimental moments that will never be captured again in the Evil Dead franchise that you see in the first one.
Yep.
If
Correct.
2013 just smacked of other formulas as maybe a high point of certain formulae,
Yeah.
but not something that I'm really at like 49 at this 7 year cycle that I'm really interested in anymore.
Sure.
Hence why I want to go back and watch Army of Darkness,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they feel completely different about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
One of the things that I did enjoy more in 2013 over 1981 was the physical Necronomicon prop. It felt less like a prop and more like something that existed in the world, simply because it
Okay.
wasn't as clean. Um, it was obviously something that had been interacted with, like with the writing on the pages and the cutting into the pages, and
Mhm.
there was more of a story to that book rather than a prop someone had kind of designed.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
the classic Necronomicon I love. Like I've got DVD cover versions of it here that I will just sit and stare at the pictures for hours. But I
Interesting.
really enjoyed the prop that they made for 2013.
Because the drawing, the blood drawing
Yeah.
that they had of the original poster,
Hmm.
that interpretation of it was fantastic. I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
want that. I
Yeah, it's
want
very
that.
good.
The Evil Dead 2 Necronomicon's very good. The cover might be the best
Correct.
cover.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Evil Dead Rise didn't have the face, but it did have a weird sort of vein thing happening. Can you see
Yes, I
that?
see. Yeah, I can. I can.
See if there's any better pictures of it. No, one picture.
That's okay. I'll throw it up on the
and all of
video
these
as I
ads.
do. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd
So
like
yeah,
to own one. So
I'll
you're
take a
saying
look.
you have one? You have a facsimile?
So I have a couple actually.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
back. I've got a couple. One of them I'm having trouble locating, which is scary given that it's the Necronomicon. So I've got this one here, which is just a sort of notepad version I got off Temu.
It's a nice cover though.
It
So yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. It's a cool
It's very
drawing. It's a cool
papery,
representation. Yeah.
but it's got the ear on the back, which I
Yeah, yeah.
love.
I like that. Came
And
up
I have
clearly here as
one
well. Thank you.
in a display box. This one's a bit smaller, but it was basically a DVD cover.
Yeah, okay.
But it has like the various
Uh, yeah, I
pages.
like the inlay art. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
cool. I like that. No, I do like that. Yeah, nice. I do like that.
Mm. I mean, I do also have this.
Excellent. Could you say what it is there for the ch children listening there?
So this is from Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness. It's Ash's replacement hand after he cuts his hand off
Yeah.
with a chainsaw.
And yeah, it was just showing the Necronomicon, so a DVD cover and a notepad. So show us your Necronomicons out there. Amazing.
So the aggregate on the internet for 1981 is a 7.3 out of 10, and the aggregate
Fair.
for 2013 is 6.5 out of 10.
Also fair, in my
It
opinion.
does have a better critic score though. So the critic score for 2013 is higher than the 1981, but the audience score is much higher for
Makes sense.
1981.
Makes sense. Makes sense. The
I,
critics would like the metaphor.
of course, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Now I culled a couple of short 5 and 1 star reviews
Nice. Nice. Nice.
for the two. So my 5 star review for the 1981 film, legendary classic status. Every horror fan should watch at least once.
Yeah. Definitely the last part I agree with.
Yeah.
Got to see it.
Uh, the 5 star review for 2013 is it may lack the absurd humor that underlined the original, but the new look Evil Dead compensates with brutal terror, gory scares, and gleefully bloody violence.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 1 star review for 1981, it doesn't hold up that well to today's standards, but it is an entertaining horror movie. I mean, that's a three, really. That's not a
Yeah,
one
well,
star. That's a
two,
three.
at
Yeah.
least a two and a
Yeah.
half. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
2013's 1 star review was so serious, where's the goof?
Um, yeah, because I mean, like, if they pulled off the drama effectively, it could have been awesome.
Yeah.
But just the repetitive way that they did it, it wasn't. Yeah, no, it just lost it just because you knew the pulse of it, so you weren't caught up with the
Mm,
characters, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
with their emotions, you know what I mean? And it was just too repetitive.
I
Uh,
did
at the,
I
please.
did like the bait and switch of the protagonist about
Hmm.
2/3, 3/4 of the way
Yeah,
through
yeah, yeah. That I
2013.
noted that
I
myself.
really
That was
enjoyed
good.
that.
Yeah, no, that was good. And that's why they should have been, number two soon after.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then they could have had something. They could have had something.
Now
But we've still
uh,
got Evil Dead.
we
We
do.
still have Evil
We,
Dead.
we we do.
Yes. Yes.
Now I won't go through the cast. I
No,
will
no.
just indicate that most of the cast of the 2013 have worked together on stuff. So they might have been brought in as a group, maybe.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, just I mean the 1981 cast, obviously Bruce Campbell, King of B movie horror. Ellen, who played Cheryl, worked on a bunch of the stuff with Bruce as well. Richard didn't do much horror. Betsy didn't do much horror. Teresa Tilly didn't do much horror. So they basically just worked on Evil Dead stuff, and that was the only real horror they did.
Okay, well, thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
but the cast of 2013. So Mia, Jane Levy was in Castle Rock and Don't Breathe. David. who was played by Shiloh, was in the unaired Kevin Bacon Tremors reboot that never made it to TV because of
Oh,
rights.
that's a shame.
Um,
That's a shame.
Jessica, who played Olivia, was in The Covenant. Lou Taylor Pucci, who played Eric, was in American Horror Story in 2019. And Elizabeth Blackmore, who played Natalie, was in Supernatural, Vampire Diaries, a bunch of genre supernatural sort of TV shows.
Okay. Okay.
So that's kind of the extent of the horror links to the two casts.
Yeah, yeah. But Evil Dead will always be attached to Sam Raimi, and Sam's doing
Oh,
fine. He just did Send Help, which is a lot of people's, including horror fans, horror
yeah.
heads' number one horror film of the year
Oh,
so far, Send Help.
okay.
Yeah. So I need to see it. Have you seen it?
No, not yet.
No,
Um,
no. I've heard it's people calling it more of a return to Evil Dead form.
ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll have
yeah,
to give it a look then.
yeah. It's more
Uh,
than it seems. It's more than it's advertised to be. Yes, I
okay.
am. So I am very curious along those lines.
Well, I'll have to give that a watch. All right, so a little bit of trivia. In
Um,
oh, go on.
I've got a
Sorry.
question. I came up with a little theme idea. Has
Sure.
this matured or has this rotted? Is it rotten? Yes,
Ooh.
has it aged well? However you want to put it, aged well with time.
Has it
Just
gone
trying.
stale?
Has it gone stale? Is it still fresh? There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, look, honestly, I watched 1981 on the weekend. I watched it yesterday. Um, And while it is a film of its time, it is not as technically proficient as current films. The acting was very much film school. You can tell that everyone wore multiple hats, and
Oh
someone
yeah.
would be doing the boom while other people were acting and all that sort of stuff. But there was so much heart in that film that
Yeah.
it still tastes fresh to me.
And balls as well,
Yeah,
definitely. Because
yeah,
like
yeah,
everyone went there who was involved, even if it was the boom mic who was suddenly, being killed on the screen.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That every single part was, full 100%. Yeah.
yeah,
Affected the pacing, but that was also where film was at the time. It's just indicative of that in general. I don't think it's a
yeah.
particular fault of this.
No,
But I also get it as well. You've got, your special effects guys, definitely your monster fiends. You want to make stuff and show it off.
yeah,
So I also get that, using your time for that,
yeah.
certainly if you've only got one place to do it in.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I think,
it changed history. It changed cinema, changed
oh,
horror
it did.
history.
I think it's
100%.
also possible that the 1981 film probably needs a 4K restoration because I don't think the version that I watched was meant to be watched on a modern television.
Yeah, sure. That's fair. Yeah, you'd have to treat it well, get a nice boutique house like
Yeah.
Severin or Arrow to treat it correctly so you still keep some of that grain, that
Yeah.
texture. You want that,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
But
Um,
some of the makeup seemed very stark to me that I don't think I'd seen
oh
before when
yeah,
I
sure.
watched it on smaller
Sure.
TVs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, it's a little stage like.
Yeah, a little bit.
Uh, so the question did 2013 keep that freshness or did it go stale? Did it make
I
Evil Dead go stale?
I don't
Being a
think it's
reboot, especially.
I don't think it's completely stale, but I don't think it's as fresh as it was. So it's almost
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
next day
yeah.
popcorn, where you can still taste that it was made recently,
Hmm.
but it's it hasn't kept its freshness as well as the original, I don't think, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm going to lean a little more heavy into the critique. That with and the analogy that it's on its final day, eat it now.
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, tomorrow it's done.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
dip it in caramel so that it
yeah.
disguises it a bit.
I'll sweeten it up a little,
Yeah,
certainly.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's but the originals, it's just like a Lamington or something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? A
It just
custard
gets
square.
better with age.
Yeah, it's a
Matured
classic.
popcorn.
Yeah.
A couple of little
Cool.
bits of trivia that I
Yeah, go.
will
Yeah,
call
yeah.
out. So in 1980, in the movie set in 19, made in 1981, the cabin was used as the film set was also the lodging for the 13 crew members, with several people sleeping in the same room. Living conditions were terrible, and the crew frequently
Excellent.
argued. The
That's how you
cabin
do
didn't
it.
have any plumbing, so the actors went days without showering. They fell ill frequently in the freezing weather. By the end of production, they were burning furniture to stay warm.
Ah,
You would
brilliant.
not see that on a modern movie set.
No. No, you'd be arrested.
Yeah,
But I love that. I mean, I feel for them. Yeah, I know it's not fun at the time, but what a legacy though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's Al Pacino sleeping on the stage in New York theater and
yeah,
that sort of thing. That's
exactly.
yeah. I like it. I love it.
A little bit of trivia for the 2013 film. According to reports in the press, the film used 70,000 gallons for our US Anian people, which in the rest of the world is 265,000 liters of fake blood. In an
It
interview, sorry, go on.
does it hold the record or did Iron Lung beat it?
No, Iron Lung beat it.
Iron Lung did beat it.
Yes.
Okay. But it needed a universe of blood to
Oh
beat
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how much blood is in this Evil Dead scene in this film. Because it's the
Um,
final scene we're talking about, you
oh,
know what I mean?
correct. Yeah,
It
yeah.
does rain with blood, literally, and then the final kill scene itself, the amount of
Yep.
blood that's poured out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch.
So how much
Yeah.
blood do you think they used in the 1981 version?
Oh, so what was the amount of liters for 2013? 265,000?
264,978.82.
Let's say 265. Um, so I'm going to say 2,000 liters.
200 gallons, 200 to 300 gallons, so between 750 and 1,200 liters.
Okay, I just overshot a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it is very impressive what they pull off though in the 1981
Oh,
though.
incredible.
Yeah, and the makeup work and like the possession work of the actors as well, I think needs to be shouted out because it's hella convincing.
That scene with her sitting in the doorway with the
Yeah.
drawn on the painted on eyes, just
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, it's so so simple to achieve,
Yeah.
but you need someone. Like, what was her name? That actor
Oh, that
of that
was
is that
Cheryl.
Shirley? Cheryl? Yeah.
Cheryl, that was Ellen Sandweiss.
Like what was she was pulling off to psychologically torture Ashley. We get to
Yeah.
hear him as you'll never get to hear him called Ashley again in the
No.
franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what she does to psychologically torture him is it's
Yeah.
superb work. It's
Yeah.
like leaning in 1,000%.
Very good.
Yeah, yeah.
You could tell they were theatre kids.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Hence, like, okay, so what's the spec? We're not horror people, but what's the brief? What's the script? And then,
Yeah.
yeah, go. Yeah.
So I did do
Yeah,
something
please.
interesting this time when I watched 2013. So I recognized some syllables in the chanting at the start of the film. So in the subtitles it says that they're chanting in Turkish, but it wasn't. So I put my phone up and I did a thing detect language, and so
Uh-huh.
it says on the screen chanting in Turkish. It's actually Welsh. So it's Welsh chanting at the start of 2013.
That's hilarious. The Welsh
Yeah,
language is terrifying. I worked at an English pub for a few years, so I heard it quite thick. When you have 12, Baron, when you have 12 Welsh women at a table all speaking in Welsh after a few
yeah,
wines, it's like,
yeah,
oh, something's being summoned.
yeah, yeah.
This is a
Very,
conjuring.
very Cthulhu.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Um,
Um,
so do you want to
Watch
get to
both
scores?
films. Watch
Oh,
both films,
yeah, watch them.
definitely. Watch all Evil Dead films. Certainly
Yeah,
watch the original. That's the
yeah,
main takeaway. If you haven't already, certainly watch the original.
yeah,
3.5 for the first one
yep,
because it's not the perfect execution, but the heart in it definitely, and some genius experimental moments. You know, when you throw
yep,
everything at the wall, when you give it your all. I don't know if they were wonderful accidents and that sort of thing, and it's very open to interpretation. The way it's edited together in the music with the scene, it depends how you take it and such. But
yeah,
all good art, I think is like that, or can be like that. Um, so for that, for you know, like I liked the realization of like all just how interestingly artistic this is, which I didn't realize, rather than just being a goopy blood and special effects showcase, which it certainly is.
yeah.
So 3.5. The other one, 2.5. It's still a pass. It's still
Okay.
edible. but it's certainly lost its luster at its time because
Yeah.
that area of the bakery, that shelf, I'm not interested in anymore. So not its own fault. So that's why I say do watch it, because for some
Yeah.
of you out there who do like this era of film
Yeah.
as well, you know what I mean?
It'll be someone's favorite film.
It'll be someone's favorite film, absolutely. And for a lot of people, Evil Dead 2013 is their favorite of the franchise,
Yeah.
and they will defend that,
Yeah.
quite vociferously. And I get that. I get that. But I won't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's the ratings. That's done.
I
Preheated.
um
So
I came in
reheated popcorn.
I
Yeah.
came in slightly higher than you. I
Okay.
came in at a 3 for 2013 and I came in at a 4 for 1981.
Nice.
Um,
Where does that land us?
so that lands us at about a 3.25 for 2013 and a 3.75 for 1981.
Yeah, okay. Cool. If you agree, disagree, let us know that,
By
children.
all means.
Yeah.
That does bring us in, oh, almost exactly on the aggregate.
Yeah, okay. And I did agree with the aggregate more or
Yeah,
less at the beginning. But that's me. Yeah.
that's me. So we just got one last thing to do, which is tell you to go to bed, children. Go to bed.
Oh, I love it when you're evil. This is me at my most evil.